What is up, self-made Homestead family? Today is the long-awaited day. We are turning this U.S. General 30-inch service cart, which I picked up for 77 bucks, into a fab cart that could easily be loaded into the bed of your truck or into a trailer as part of your generator and welding setup for mobile use. Now, I am really excited because all of this stuff is readily available. I'm going to show you how it works together and what you need to look for as you build this bad boy out. Stay tuned. All right, first step, the anti-fatigue foam mat set is good for your feet, but it's also good to line the top of this cart and the bottom shelf. So we're gonna get into it. Just so you know, here's the math. From here to here, which is the back walls and the front walls, you're looking at 16 inches. From the bolt and nut face, nut face, to this nut face is 28 inches, okay? So from here to here is 28. From here to here is 16. Now, you're gonna take a couple of these 25 by 25s, it's actually gonna be one per shelf, and turn it into the liner. What you're gonna do, first, I want you to see the part. That's a Harbor Freight product. Here is the item number, okay? You're gonna take two of these and turn them into the liners. Here's how it works. First step, get this out of the way. What's awesome about these bad boys is that they have these removable ends. So we're gonna use two of those. We're gonna pull those off. And set them aside, okay? Pull those off, set them aside. Now, what you're left with is the puzzle piece. This bad boy will fit together. So what we're gonna do, you're gonna measure from this edge of the puzzle piece to here, 8 inches, okay? Then you're gonna make a cut. Then you're gonna do the same thing over here. Flat surface, outside of the puzzle piece to 8 inches inside. I'll get back with you after we do that. All right, guys, so we've got the liner installed. Now, there's reasons for this being open. I'll show you that. But these sheets come in 25 by 25 squares. So, pro tip, cut to the middle. You could use double stick tape to make them both stay in place, but I like to leave mine loose and in two pieces so that it's easier for me to vacuum everything out. So there's the top tray and there's the bottom storage cart. Everything's lined up nice. You see how it fits inside the bolts here? I just love that fit up. I really love the way that that looks. All right, moving on. Next step, we're gonna build the welder. Okay, so this is my first impression of the titanium Flux 125. Now, if you're familiar with flux core welding, it's a pretty awesome process. So you got stick flux core for outdoor in the elements. Okay, those are your two options. Now, if you're a farmer, this thing is for you because it operates on 120, so you can run a nice little generator or an extension cord if you need to. It also comes with a strap, but I'm gonna do an entire video on how to set this thing up properly. But for now, I'm gonna use it for space, an idea of what I got as far as a layout for the actual cart. Now, my initial impressions, this thing is super light and I love it. I'm gonna see how it welds here shortly. More on that in a minute. Here's a quick pro tip. If you like to keep things good and organized, this magnetic MIG torch rest from Chicago Electric is the ticket. I've used these all over the place. You like to keep your torch nice and tidy whenever you're using it, or when you're not using it in storage. You want to be able to move it around safely with knowing that it won't fall off the cart, get run over, blah. That would suck. So get you one of these for your cart and use it on a table also, because your table should be made out of steel. It's starting to come together. Okay, so like I said earlier, I'll be doing a separate video on how to set this up and how to upgrade the grounding clamp. That's gonna need to happen so that I can grip onto bigger materials. But my initial impression, it looks really good. Look at it. So remember I told you earlier that there was reasons for this being open? I'm gonna put these on the cart top for markers, any kind of metal marking tools like chalk pencils and things like that. Speaking of that, I got some up here. So I got them in yellow, red. I've also got the traditional soapstone for marking, all kinds of metal. All of these guys will be in here. The backup flat stones will be in the drawer, but I'm gonna set this up in here and then the crayons in here as well. Now, you wanna be mindful of arc, but this shouldn't be anywhere near your arc if you're doing it right. If you got spark and slag flying this way, you gotta change your settings, but it's starting to come together. So these go in here. I'm gonna self-tap those in and they won't interfere with the drawer at all. It's gonna be pretty clean, so they won't go anywhere. That's also why I left that side blank. Over here, we got that MIG torch rest, which is also magnetized over here, nice, neat, and tidy for my lead. So I can just grab and dip. Once again, that's grab and dip for those who wanna know. Okay, next, the welding hood. Here we go. Man, so this is the new hood. This is my titanium welding hood, 7 square inch auto darkening welding helmet. Now, right out of the box, I'm impressed. I've used some really expensive hoods from all kinds of different manufacturers, but this viewing area is dope. Also, pro tip, read the instructions and understand that you gotta install the batteries. Make sure that they're there. If that battery isn't in there, it's not doing any good for you. Also, keep a microfiber. Paper towels will not work. None of those things will work. If you want to, get one of those glasses cleaning cloths. Keep these lenses just as fresh as they are. You can see my reflection in it. Your objective is to keep this hood fresh as long as you can. They also send you replacement lenses. Know what size they are. Keep the manual handy and go to Harbor Freight when you need more of them. I'm impressed. I'm also gonna keep this titanium green microfiber with it to keep it clean. PPE is key. These Vulcan Defenders are one of my favorite go-tos for MIG welding. Keep them fresh, keep a spare on hand, because once you're exposed to heat, these fingers wrinkle up funny. Remember I said it. Keep them on tap, keep a spare on hand. All right, here's what the top end of the tray looks like. Got the ground clamp hanging out right here. Welders here. Got the MIG torch hanging out right here in the holder that's magnetic. Nice and tidy on this side. I got the lead wrapped around the handle here so it won't drag on the floor or do any of that craziness. This is one of those magnetic cups. They're perfect. They also make a rectangular one, which I might upgrade to here shortly, but the round one's perfect for now. These two cups have been self-tapped onto the tray. Let me show you. You got one self-tap in the middle, doesn't intrude on the drawer function in the slightest, and you won't feel it because it's way back in the back. It won't drag or cut you. Now, as I'm putting these in, I'll tell you why I need them. This is a Husky multi-tool Allen key. Keep one of those on hand for your Evo saw. This is a Makita angle grinder chuck key. This is always handy. Also, if you lose this one, don't trip, because Harbor Freight's got you covered. That's the Pittsburgh 7.5 inch adjustable pen wrench. You can use one of those. These guys are the truth, okay? Keep a couple of those on hand. That way you're not tripping out. Also, stay with contact tips. They're consumables for a reason. They get beat up. Remember the style you use. These are Tweco. That goes back to forever, okay? You can find these everywhere. Remember the size of wire you use. I use 030 wire and 035 wire for bigger stuff. Right now, the machine's gonna be set up for 030. So keep those readily accessible. That's why they're here, okay? Also, this pair of Nichols vintage dikes are paying respects to my roots. Shout out to me. Hey man, I still have them. This is the very first pair of dikes I ever used in welding and fabrication. Shout out to the guys who taught me how to do things the right way. Now I can inspire the world. Thank you. So you always keep a pair of dikes handy, keep them good, functioning order, lube them when you can, and always keep them close. Also, you're gonna need a pair of good scissors on deck. These guys are what I use to cut the foam, and they work very well for whatever you need them for. Make sure you got a pair of heavy duty ones on hand. All right, in the back, we've got all our metal marking, markers, crayons. I've got the soapstone kit. That'll go in here as well. Keep the backups away from this so they don't get broken, you don't get mad. But I'm gonna put these in there as well. And now we're gonna walk through what goes in the bottom drawer. So this is what we got all the way across. Okay, that's the top for now. Let me pan back so you can see a little bit better. Shout out to that US General $77 cart, working like a boss right now. All right, let's stock it up. So, I'm gonna open the drawer. Keep a crescent wrench for your random, this one's pretty cool because I use it just to find the right size that I need. I don't like to use crescent wrenches to strip stuff out. I like to use them to find gauges and sizes of my hardware. It's real helpful when you're using big metal. You can use one of these real quick. You can also keep one of those sheet and material spacers. If your material fits in it, it's that size. Magic. So crescent wrench, okay? You're gonna need a couple of wire brushes. One will be labeled aluminum only. Now you can't weld aluminum with this machine, but for my TIG welder I can. So it will be labeled aluminum only, and you'll only use that for aluminum. The other one can be used for cold rolled steel and all kinds of steel, but you never wanna contaminate aluminum with introducing steel particles to that surface. You'll stain it forever, it'll look like poop, and the welds will look like poop. Okay, so you keep those in there. I'll throw one in there. Okay, I always keep a negotiator with me. When you're tacking and making sure everything's square, you keep those in there, okay? Then are the tools. This is a Pittsburgh multi-square, metric and SAE, level, square, plumb, and the angles. You can find that, all your geometry. This is helpful when you're making cuts that aren't 45. You're gonna need a punch for drilling stuff. You're also gonna need some black oxide bits, good speed square, heavy combo square, file set. You'll need some of those in there. Tape measure. Stay on the level. Keep you a level. Good box cutter. Okay. And I'm gonna walk over here. You need some good quality step bits. Those are awesome for drilling holes for axles or whatever you're gonna be using. I'll show you how awesome these come in handy. And these ones are set up for impact. That's kind of cool. I've got magnetic welding squares. These will hold 45, 90, and 135, which is awesome. Got 4 of those in there. And you gotta have some gloves with you. So once I get it all in there, I'll show you how it looks. Okay, here it is. Fully stocked and ready to rock. Now, couple of things. Let's tour this thing from top to bottom, okay? So, We've got the titanium flux 125. Bam. I've installed those magnet squares here behind it. Right, nice and neat out of the way. Also, something I didn't mention earlier, gotta have some good clamps. I've had these for a while. I like to use them. They're an Amazon find. I'll send you a link. I'll put the link in the description so you guys can check those out. Also, not on the cart is the magnetic sweeper. Do your family a solid. If you're gonna be cutting metal indoors, get you one of these. It'll roll easily on concrete and pick up all the shards. Safety tip, because if they get stuck in your rubber boots and end up in the carpet or on the flooring in your house, people will step on them barefoot and it'll hurt really bad. So that's a side note. That's not on my cart. It'll be just like my other tools, my broom and all the other stuff. It hangs on the wall. Okay, let's tour the cart. We've got the Flux 125, my new titanium hood, Vulcan gloves, the magnetic cup holder, 2 of these 99-cent store cups, fully stocked with metal marking and cutting tools. Also, everything I need to adjust my Evo saw. Let's get in the drawer. So, we've got crescent wrench, speed square. These are spare nozzles for the gun. This is all of the tools we just went over. Nice, neat, and organized. Look, I like to be organized. Remember what I told you. Keep an aluminum only brush and a steel brush, okay? Now, this can be locked for transport, which is cool. Closes nice and officially. Now, down bottom, gloves. These are for like when you're doing paint prep and all that other stuff. Carbide bits, hammer drill. I've also got my Makita angle grinder. I got a pair of those, they'll live down here. File set. Also, those free tools, see this? These are cool. You can super glue a stronger magnet on them, but they also have a magnet on the back. So look. Oh dang, baller! Underlight kit for the carty cart. That comes in handy when you're welding at night. Tell you what. Okay, so that's the cart. Mostly Harbor Freight. A little bit of box store support. Also, speaking of that, see that door? Shout out to Lowe's Morgantown. My homie Mike holding it down. Thank you for your help. All right, last bit of information. The PPE. This leather welding smock has saved my life in a lot of different ways. This one's brand new, but the ones that I've used, in fact, if you go to our YouTube channel, the one that's on the top there, I'm wearing it. This guy right here is awesome. I'll put a link in the description below. It's an Amazon find. Okay, so there you go. I hope you found this video informative. I hope that you got a whole bunch of ideas on how you too can make this thing happen. And we'll go from there. Be sure to watch the next couple of videos here. We're going to be building stuff now that everything is set up. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because the journey is just beginning. My name is Mike, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.